If you're going to be spending days, weeks, and months of your time in discovering a product, finding a sourcing partner, creating a brand, investing your hard earned money, and selling it online, you might as well make decent amount of profits. One of the most important factors that a lot of new sellers miss when they start their online business are the fixed costs. In this video, we are going to be understanding what affects your Amazon FBA fixed costs and what should you keep in mind to reduce them and keep them super lean so that you can scoop in a lot of profits per unit that you sell on Amazon. Let's get in the video. Alright, so before we get started, let me also tell you that towards the end of this video, I will be telling you exactly how can you reduce your FBA storage fees immediately. It can be today, tomorrow, or with your next order that you place with your supplier. Alright, so one of the most primary metrics that you need to keep in mind when you're looking at your FBA fees is the size and dimensions of your product. The bigger your product is, the more space it will take on the racks in Amazon's warehouse. The more space it will take, the higher your FBA storage fees will be. Therefore, when you're starting out, you should ideally start with a product which is not too huge. To set a reference, it should ideally be smaller than a shoebox in size. Depending on the dimensions of your product will fall in different slabs as per the costing in Amazon FBA warehouse, and therefore if it's going to be big, Amazon is going to charge you a higher fees. I will put a link for this resource down below so that you can check out this in detail and evaluate where does your product fall currently and which slab your product should ideally fall into so that you can control and reduce your costs for storage inside Amazon FBA's warehouse. The second factor that plays a major role when it comes to FBA storage and as well as shipping is the weight of the product. When you're starting out, try to start with something that is less than 2 pounds. Again, this resource that we just saw also has a size and weight comparison per slab, which you should be looking at before you start selling on Amazon, or if you're already selling on Amazon, it's something that you should be aware of so that you know that Amazon is charging you for the right slab. Now, the third factor that a lot of people usually miss is the difference in size of your product and the size of the packaging. Your product sometimes can be super small, but if it has some unusable, useless packaging that kind of inflates the size of the product and makes it go in a bigger box, then you would usually pay for that extra additional waste space that your product is taking on the racks. That is not going to help you make more money. It's going to actually cut down your profits, and that is the last thing that you want. Therefore, always ensure that your packaging is super efficient. You're not spending a lot of space apart from the product size itself in terms of having a packaging around your product. For example, take the Apple's iPhone packaging for reference. Over the years, Apple has been reducing the size of the iPhone's packaging. If you look at the latest iPhone 12 packaging, it is basically just wide enough and big enough to accommodate the phone, and that is it. And if you are an Apple user and if you've used Apple products before, you would have realized that Apple has been reducing its accessories that come along with the product. And the primary reason behind that is that Apple is trying to reduce its logistics cost substantially. When you sell 100 million phones, and if it's going to increase your product cost by 50 cents, that amounts to almost 50 million US dollars. So if Apple is trying to optimize their logistics costs, if you are a small seller selling in the e-commerce space, you have to be even more picky when it comes to your unit expenses so that you can improve and increase your profit margins per unit. Alright, so something else that you can do with your next order that you place with your supplier is that you can ask them if they can use materials or switch to a material which is going to make your product even more lighter. One of my recent students launched a product in Amazon recently, and he is paying about 8 plus USD per unit just for the storage fees, which is a lot of money on Amazon because his product is priced somewhere around $30 to $40. And if you're going to be paying away $8 just to put your product on the racks on Amazon, when you're selling in that range, you are going to really cut short your profit margins. You cannot accommodate that amount of storage fees unless your product is priced way above $55 and you have very fat profit margins to accommodate that cost and it makes sense. So if your product is under $40, ensure that you're not ending up paying a lot of storage fees to Amazon, because that will just eat away your profit margins and eventually you will not be able to make a sustainable Amazon FBA business. Now coming to the very last bit, and this might drop your FBA storage fees today or maybe tomorrow. So hear me out carefully with this one. Sometimes when you send your products into Amazon's, when Amazon's employees open up and scan your product to put it on the racks, they end up putting in the wrong dimensions for your product. If they end up putting the wrong dimensions of your product, Amazon's system is automatically going to charge you for the wrong slab. Therefore, it's very important that you go inside your manage inventory section, open up your listing, look at your dimensions that you have in there, because that can be updated from Amazon's end as well, and ensure that as per the dimensions and the weight of your product, you are being charged correctly on Amazon. If not, you can go ahead and update that to the correct dimensions and correct weight, or reach out to Seller Central for help so that you can immediately reduce your FBA storage fees. This happens a lot of times. People usually do not pay attention to this unless and until they realize that their profit margins are being eaten away by Amazon. So it's very important that you keep a check on this. You should check on this every time you have a fresh inventory shipment going into Amazon, because that is usually when this mistake happens from Amazon's employees, and it would mess up your entire unit economics for your product. Alright folks, so I hope that was helpful. I hope you use these techniques to reduce your launch costs or increase your profits if you're already selling on Amazon. Don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you're notified whenever these videos come out. As you can tell from this video and the other videos that I've been recently releasing, that I'm trying to bring in a lot of value in a very short amount of time by creating these to the point, straight, crisp videos. If you appreciate that, don't forget to like this video as well. It really helps the algorithm understand that this video is good and it should be shown to more people. I'll see you next week in the next video.